One of my highest performing Instagram reels says, "Dear Black women, go wherever you are loved and appreciated." And that video is also one of my most controversial reels that I have ever posted. So between that video and other videos that I've posted of my husband and I basically saying similar things about how I don't feel that women should settle, especially Black women, things about avoiding struggle love, things along those lines, I've received hundreds of comments trying to tear Black women down. Not just me, not just the person in the video who said the stuff that they didn't like, Black women in general. Now, this doesn't only happen on my videos, of course, when I see other videos of specifically either interracial couples where the woman is Black and then the man is a different race, or videos where the woman is of any race and then the man is older than her, so there's an age gap relationship, and any couple where the woman talks about her husband being a provider of any type, really. I'm going to focus on the comments that I've received, and these are specifically around Black women, so that is why I'm going to be speaking specifically on Black women today. Because to be honest, everything else really isn't my business. It has become very clear to me that some people are very much triggered by Black women's happiness, by Black women's softness, and by the fact that a lot of Black women are currently being loved out loud on social media. Now, I'm going to put screenshots of the comments that I've been receiving. Obviously, not all of them. There are too many to put all of them in this video, but I'm going to put some of the ones that I have just in my phone from screenshots on the screen. That way, if you want to read them, you can. If you don't want to read them, just feel free to sit back and listen. I'm going to give some examples. That way, you know what's going on, even if you're not reading the screen. These comments typically go along the lines of, my husband is going to harm me in some sort of way, that I am a disgrace to the community, that white men don't care about Black women and don't desire Black women, and that Black men don't desire or care about Black women. Some comments are along the lines of saying that I was rejected by Black men, and that is why I am sending this message out to Black women. By the way, I would like to revisit the fact that I said go wherever you are loved and appreciated, and even in the caption of that video, I said that that includes Black men, obviously, because if that's where you're appreciated and that's where you're loved, you're already there. Great. That's wonderful. That's perfect. And I think most commonly I either get comments that are saying that I am not Black or that my husband is not white. So really, okay. Oh, and another favorite genre of comments that I get on these is, of course, Black women act like that around white men, essentially saying that Black women act differently around different races of men than Black women act around Black men, and that is why Black men don't want Black women. I've received lots of comments saying that Black women are losing, Black women are at the bottom of the barrel, just really talking very broadly, and they're not speaking only specifically to me. A lot of times they will include all Black women in their statements. And unfortunately, most of my negative comments come from Black men, which I hate to say because there are a decent number of Black men who also support my content that I make. There are tons of Black men in my life who I respect and appreciate. However, a lot of the comments do come from Black men. That is the first question that I get asked anytime I talk about negative comments is, who do these comments typically come from? So I am answering that question, and it is typically from Black men. I would say the second group is from, and this is very small, the second group is from like some Black women, but it's mostly from Black men. Black women tend to be very supportive, even if they are not in an interracial relationship, even if they are not in a relationship at all currently. Black women just tend to be very supportive of other Black women on the internet. And I love that. And in real life too. I don't mean to say just on the internet, but in this situation, I know we're talking about online. Now, I completely understand that this isn't just criticism. It's projection, it's pain, it's feelings that come out, and it's easier to say things when you're typing on your keyboard of your iPhone in somebody's comment section than it is to say them in real life, because we have had very, very few instances where anything in real life has happened like this, where somebody says something that is rude to us, specifically about us being the type of couple that we are. So this doesn't happen IRL, real time, face to face. This is an internet thing. Now, I also want to address that part of the reason that I post the content that I post is because it does trigger some people. That's why I do it partially. The main reason that I post the content that I post is because I want women to understand and to know that they have options. I want them to make sure that they get the best out of their lives. And in order for my content to reach its intended audience, the hate comments help, the mean comments help, they help with the engagement, they help get the video out there. And so I'm aware of that. I try to keep my content as positive as possible while also knowing that there are going to be negative comments regardless. So I don't need to fully rage bait people or anything. People are going to be upset just by the statement that I'm making, and I understand that. That's why I don't delete negative comments unless they are very violent. Some of them are very graphic, very violent, and I will not share those on this video either. Honestly, I would leave them up if it wasn't for the fact that I know that other people will see them and by no fault of their own, be triggered by them. So I don't want that, and so I take them down if they are very graphic and very violent. And to give you an idea of what they are about, though, this is not like going to be graphic or anything, but to give you an idea of what those types of comments are about, they are typically about how the commenter thinks that my husband will harm me. So yes, I understand why the content that I make has people react negatively, and I expect that, and I play into it a little bit. So that's just my part in this, okay? I feel like the least I can do is play into the things that you're going to say about me anyway. Now let's get into some of the reasons for this. Some people are addicted to Black women's struggle. There's a deeply conditioned narrative that Black women need to earn, to struggle through, and to sacrifice for love, to be loved. You have to be a ride or die. You have to go through something in order to be deemed worthy of being a good, solid partner that somebody's going to love for the rest of their lives. And especially in order to, be considered somebody's wife, because you know how that is in the Black community. I'm not going to go into all that, but you get everything but a ring. Everything but one. A lot of people are used to seeing us in survival mode, and that's what they like to see because that's what they're used to. People's minds always want to see what they are already conditioned to see. They don't like change. They put you in a box and they don't like to see you outside of that box, okay? That is just how people's brains work. That's why some people are not willing to go for their dreams or be successful, because they believe that there's a little box that they fit into. They shouldn't be outside of that box, and other people shouldn't be outside of the little boxes either. They feel like seeing Black women being loved, feeling soft, having nice things, having nice relationships, living in a nice home, whatever it is. And this goes along with Black girl luxury too. I made a video about that a few months ago, about how some people are triggered by Black girl luxury. And this is really the same thing. You're seeing Black women in a state that you're not used to seeing them in, or maybe that you don't like seeing them in, because by now you should be used to it, because there's a lot of content on the internet showing Black women live lovely, comfortable, luxurious lifestyles, okay? But as we can see, it is still triggering to some, because they feel like it's unnatural or it's undeserved. And there's always somebody who just wants to try to humble you when you post content like that. They want to try to humble you. They want to be in your comments telling you, oh, I get a lot of like, well, you can't even cook, you can't clean, like this is, he's going to regret choosing you, blah, blah, blah. I get a lot of, I hope I hope he has a prenup. I get a lot of comments basically implying that I myself am not successful, which I am, okay. But people assume that I am not because they need a humbling tactic. So they're going to look for anything that they can find in order to be able to say, well, you're not this, well, you're not that, you're not this, you don't deserve this, this is why you shouldn't have this is why you shouldn't be this, that, and the third. There's always some sort of humbling tactic that people want to apply. I said this in my other video about Black girl luxury, but honestly, some people associate, and this is some Black people as well, this is not white people associating it necessarily, some people associate softness and even happiness with whiteness. And that's crazy. That's like a very deep mental programming, because I don't associate that at all. You guys like my hair? I just cut it. I like it with the little hat, but I feel like it doesn't look as good on camera because you're just looking at me straight on. Like, look from the side. Isn't it cute? I love it. Anyway, I also have kind of a different background. We just moved, and this is our chrome mannequin. It's a little awkward of an angle. I'm sorry. We're kind of low on her, okay? But I'm working with what I got for now. If we take a minute and think about the media that we have been shown throughout our lives, a lot of times that media shows Black women struggling and Black women being responsible for everything, while no one is responsible for caring for them. Black women are oftentimes represented in media as single mothers, as baby mamas, as caregivers, as fixers who are supposed to be silent about their own problems and care for someone else. So seeing it the other way around, where someone is caring for them, it doesn't feel natural to everyone. And then there's like this implication that something else must be going on. So if you're soft, somebody must be carrying you. If you're loved, somebody must be using you for something. And if you're resting or you're living a leisurely life, then you must be lazy, you must be spoiled, and you definitely must be unworthy of it. But let's just all keep in mind that there is no prize for struggling. There is no trophy for loyalty to pain. And if we're being very honest here, it's not about dating interracially. Of course, it's not about that. It's about permission. You've given yourself permission to want something different. And this applies to anything, not just dating, not just your partner. This applies to if you get a really, really good job, you gave yourself permission to want more because you went for that job. Some people aren't going to like that. Some people just don't like it. It makes them upset because they look at their own life and they're like, oh, well, I don't have that. She shouldn't have that either. How did I almost forget to say that like the most common type of comment is, this is self-hate, or you hate yourself. I forgot to say, I got those comments when I wasn't even making a statement. I got some of those comments on our wedding photos. Our wedding photos. Now, I did delete those because, like, these are our wedding photos, okay? I was not saying anything. I didn't make any type of statement. There was no, like, caption on the screen, like on these reels. I was not trying to bait anybody. Like, these were our legitimate wedding photos. And all it said was, like, the date of our wedding. So yeah, no, the you hate yourself comments are the big ones. Which, like, if I hated myself, why would I want to give myself such an incredible life? And like I said, this is not having to do with my relationship at all. This has to do with my life, the things that I have done before, you know, him and I even met, the things that I have given myself, the lifestyle that I've given myself. Why would I give myself any of that if I didn't love myself? That is number one to me. That will always be the first thing in my book. Loving yourself is everything. You don't get anything else unless you love yourself first. So that's why, like, I don't even, those comments aren't even, like, on my radar, I feel like, because that is just not offensive to me. Like, I clearly love myself. A couple of other things before I end this video. Black women's joy does not need to be justified. Softness does not mean that you have abandoned your strength. You're not a traitor for being loved wherever you are loved. And you don't have to shrink your joy to comfort people who are unhappy, because those people would rather see you sad and angry than anything else. Like, they would love to see you that way. So why are you shrinking yourself to, you know, make them feel a little bit more comfortable when their ideal happiness is seeing you completely crumble and fail? Your piece is always going to offend people who only know struggle and who only identify with struggle. Like I said earlier, this is a lot bigger than me and just my content. I see this all the time. The types of content creators that I follow are typically Black women who are into luxury. And this applies to both luxury and to women who are in relationships that are happy. Like I said, it's either that they are in interracial relationships, age gap relationships, or their husband is some type, they refer to their husband as like a provider or somebody who, you know, makes quite a bit of money and is able to take care of them. And sometimes it's not even about money. It's just that they're taken care of, basically. All of those types of content creators receive a lot of hate that's very similar to the hate that I receive. I also want to acknowledge that I get an overwhelming amount of positive comments, and I appreciate them so much. There are so many people who do wish me well and who wish me and my partner well, and I just really appreciate them so much. It outweighs the bad comments by quite a bit. Honestly, it's probably like 60-40, 60% good, 40% bad. So like, it outweighs the bad comments, but like only by a little bit. But like, in my heart, it outweighs the bad comments by a lot. That's really all that matters to me, is that I feel like my content is, you know, either helpful or like it, you know, is something that people like to see, and I really appreciate that. I said this in my Black Girl Luxury video, but I will always continue to contribute to content of Black women living well, because that's what I like to see. That is what motivated me, and that is what I like to do, because the more of that we have on the internet, the better, in my opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts on anything about this topic in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. Also, if you want to follow me on other socials, I will put my name on the screen. It's the same for both. It's Kate Swan. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.